how will we know if we've accomplished the objective? And then it says monitoring tools and processes. Determine in advance how you will monitor the strategic plan. For example, will you need specific financial reports at predetermined times to ascertain if the event is on track or to reach its objectives? The frequency of monitoring may increase as the event date gets closer. So pretty much what Shelley was saying.
Good. Judy, would you mind doing me a favor? Just mute your microphone and mute your microphone until you want to speak. If you don't mind, I don't deal well with extra sounds. My focus can't stay in one place if I have sound somewhere else. Thank you.
So y'all have any other questions on that one?
I guess so I'm understanding what we're doing. I mean, we're talking about stuff that we're doing and experiences but how this applies to the actual exam. Mm-hmm. How are they going to form a question around these statements?
Do you have some of the sample questions?
Yeah, I was just going to pull one out.
Yeah, so and at the end of each in the book, there's endpoints with review questions that kind of tie it all back in, which from reading it I found super helpful.
Say that again?
There's at the end of each skill, there's questions to review, and it kind of ties everything back in.
Can you share some of the questions?
Yeah, so one is describe the differences between a mission statement, goals, and objectives for an event. Then another one is, let's see, what types of requirements are needed to carry out an event, and it just basically goes through each of the subsets and skills. I just read through this one today, but I thought it was really helpful. I definitely recommend getting the book.
So you can read what they say, and then they give you a mini quiz at the back and tell you what the answers are, so you understand.
They don't tell you the answers, but I mean, it's if you read the book, it's in there, and you can reference back. And I got study guides from some people, 5 different people, and they said definitely the review questions need to be one.
I do have some flashcards that might be helpful as well. This is from the CMP and PMP app, the other app.
Okay, cool.
So I pulled up the strategic planning flashcards. The first one
is that an iPhone also?
It is.
I don't know if I can find it on Droid. The PMP study guide.
Well, I'll just share. I'll share what I can. So the term. It gives a term and a definition, so I haven't used flashcards in years. Which one should I be sharing, and which one should we be guessing?
Just read one. Just do term and let's see.
Okay, term.
Because I think
it is. Okay, term. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is required while monitoring a strategic plan.
Knowledge
of which one of the following factors is required while monitoring a strategic plan. And then below it says definition, logistics, and critical path. So let me see if I click the right thing.
Because I do remember that now that you're saying that, when I studied, there were terms that you needed to learn and definitions. Is that in the back of this book too, by chance?
Well, you have to buy the glossary separate.
Okay.
Of course you I have a copy that someone gave me if anybody wants to make copies of it.
Yeah, because some things that we taught, I think it was something simple like podium and lectern.
Yeah.
We would always say lectern, but it refers to, I think, as the podium.
And
either vice versa, now I don't even remember.
And one of the study guides someone gave me, it talks about that, and there's keys to it. But this one has there's something called SMART objectives, and so you need to know what each of the letters in SMART.
Specific, measurable, achievable, or attainable, depending, and realistic, and time.
What are the 5 steps of the ROI process, and then the stakeholders analysis. So it's everything that's in that domain of the book, and it's mainly the bold stuff. I feel
right.
So I don't even understand the flashcard. That doesn't make sense.
And then it doesn't either. The logistics and what did you say the definition was?
Logistics and critical path. And here's the next one. Flashcard number 2. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is required while demonstrating environmental responsibility. Definition: environmental issues and concerns of local area. I don't this, okay.
Yeah, I'm not
this
sure
is
about
like-
this
I'm not
flashcards
digging the
Answer
flashcards.
Well, and
Question
somebody,
to question.
Yeah, no, this doesn't make
I
any
got
sense.
study tips too from a couple
You've
people.
got good stuff there.
I know.
And someone said not to use like the pre-made flashcards and don't use tests that aren't done by the CIC because a lot of them aren't helpful and they set you up for failure.
Oh, interesting.
Because
And this
telling
is
you,
from
if
like a group of meeting planners that all work together and have taken it.
Good. Yeah, you definitely have to go off what this book says because that's the only thing that test is going to be off of.
So I do have some sample test items from this, and maybe this is better, I think, than a flashcard. Question 1, knowledge of which one of the following factors is required when monitoring a strategic plan? The options are, we already know the answer. Feasible alternatives to meet requirements and respective costs, tools or resources for financial planning, foreign currency implications, and logistics and critical path. The answer is logistics and critical path. Here's the explanation. Knowledge of logistics and a critical path is required while monitoring a strategic plan, whereas knowledge of the factors mentioned in the other answer options is required while developing a financial summary. All right, question 2. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is required while demonstrating environmental responsibility? Options are environmental issues and concerns of local area, sustainability standards for meeting or event, geographic location, and meeting or event concept and image. Well, that's a no-brainer. So, right? So the explanation is knowledge of environmental issues and concerns of local areas required while demonstrating environmental responsibility, whereas knowledge of the other factors mentioned in the answer options are required while implementing a sustainability management plan. All right, question 3. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is required while demonstrating environmental responsibility? Why is so much environmental stuff on strategic planning? I don't understand.
I don't know either unless it's just because everybody's gotten so conscious
Okay.
about it. But
All right, so here are the possible options. Environmental capacity of community, meeting or event concept and image, geographic location, or sustainability standards for meeting or event. Which one is required while demonstrating environmental responsibility? So again, environmental capacity of community, meeting or event concept and image, geographic location, or sustainability standards for meeting or event.
I'm going to say that first one.
That's what I would think too. All right, that is correct. Environmental capacity or community knowledge is required while demonstrating environmental responsibility, whereas knowledge of the factors mentioned above deal with sustainability management. Okay, question 4. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while developing a financial summary? Just leave it. I'll take care of it. Come back in. Okay. Okay. So again, knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while developing a financial summary? Tools or resources for financial planning, alternatives available to meet requirements and respective costs, societal trends, and foreign currency implications.
I had the 2 in the middle, I'm torn between. Of which one is the best for what they would
So again, let me just say, which one is not required while developing a financial summary? We have tools or resources for financial planning. That obviously is not needed, right? Alternatives available to meet requirements and respective costs.
Yes.
That's a yes. Societal trends?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so. And then foreign currency implications.
If you're doing an
If you're doing an international,
Yeah.
all right. So we're going to go with societal trends.
Yeah.
That is correct. Knowledge of societal trends is required while determining the feasibility of a meeting event, not while developing a financial summary. All right, there's 2 more questions on this. Knowledge of the following factors is not required while monitoring a strategic plan. The options are financial plan, mission statement, goals and objectives of organization, logistics and critical path, and local issues and concerns. Which one is not required while monitoring a strategic plan?
Local issues and concerns. Well, I don't know. You might want to know what's going on. In
Okay, so the options are financial plan, mission statement, goals and objectives of the organization, logistics and critical path, and local issues and concerns.
Last one.
I guess the last one. That's what I'd say too.
Correct. Local issues and concerns. Knowledge is required while implementing a sustainability management plan, not while monitoring a strategic plan. So
I would say when those local issues come into play is if you know you're going to have protesters by chance or something at your event, then you might want to have extra security or you might want to notify the hotel staff or wherever you're having your event too that's gonna happen. That's happened a few times too for different organizations.
Unless Obama is in town.
Yeah.
She was in town for one of my meetings. So I wasn't told. I kind of heard a rumor, but I wasn't told until I got on site. And even then, I wasn't really told that he was on site because of
Oh,
on
okay,
site,
on site, not
He
like
was
in
staying
the city.
on property.
Oh,
It
wow.
was after the Gulf, the oil spill.
Right.
So he was trying to make sure everybody felt like the beaches were safe. So he and Michelle were at the
Oh,
Wow.
area in our city and with people.
Yeah.
I
They
remember
can't. They
organizing
can't.
a conference before it was president, before Obama, and we, the president had a visit to the property while we were there, and everything had to stop. You were
Right.
not allowed to go any further. All of a sudden, metal detectors are up. They're
Yeah,
frisking
they had
everybody.
dogs.
It was terrible.
Yeah, they had dogs. They had,
Yeah.
and we lost a lot of local people that would just drive-ins
Yeah.
because of that. And we had to stop all of our CE because at that property it's like all glassed in. And when he left the building, there were snipers all
Yeah.
over the place, and they were like, if there's any movement,
Right.
you will be
Right.
shot. I don't know how
Right.
realistic that was, but yeah,
You
that
could
was
have been.
yeah.
All right, the final question for strategic planning is knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while monitoring a strategic plan. No. All right, the 4 options are sustainability standards for meeting your event, financial plan, mission statement, goals and objectives of organization, and logistics and critical path.
What were the first two again?
Sustainability standards for meeting your event and financial plan.
Read it one more time, I'm sorry.
Knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while monitoring a strategic plan. So we know mission
Okay.
statement, goals, and objectives. That
Right.
is required.
Financials required.
Financials
Yeah.
required. Logistics and critical path is probably
Probably
required.
everything
And
that
so
is.
that leaves us sustainability standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're good.
Oh, we're
Okay,
good.
basic.
So knowledge of sustainability standards for meeting is required while implementing a sustainability management plan, not while monitoring a strategic plan.
What are we? What do they qualify as sustainability? Because when I think of that, I think of like
Do you have a definition?
like the fact that everyone's going back to the paper straws and all
Like
that. But are we talking, or is it like
No.
sustainability of the program and getting new
Sounds
people?
like child vomit.
I can't clean it up. I just can't. I can cook
Yeah.
for you guys. I cannot. I do not
I'd
have
rather
children.
this
I
is
can clean
Bring
up.
back
I
the
can clean up
plant
animal vomit. I can give subcutaneous fluids to animals, but I cannot, under any circumstances, see somebody vomit and clean it up. Just letting you know.
Just the
That's
that's
where
where
I have
to draw the line in those like
Yeah, it has like
mental blocks of like what I think it is versus what they're having it under the umbrella.
So they
as.
have
Is everything
sustainable
okay,
green
Rodney?
events, but
Oh,
let me
okay, so they
see-
are talking. Okay.
Let me see if there's something that's lost.
So it wasn't what it sounded like.
Okay. No vomit.
No.
Okay. I said I cannot allow. I'm not a mom. I can't handle it. I'm hard enough time.
That sound in my house is vomit.
All right. So what I missed out. What's the discussion on?
Was sustainability talking about sustaining the life of the program, which is what I think it to be, or are we talking paper straws and green?
I'm just talking about the whole.
That's
I
it.
was thinking the
What do
whole
they
framework.
want? It's about
It's talking about green events.
Okay.
That's what I was
Sustainable
thinking.
green
Okay.
events to help reduce the impact of events on the environment.
Good.
So
Y'all definitely better read that section in there because,
there's a
Yeah,
lot
the
on
paper-
it.
Well, let me
Your
move forward
napkin.
to
Okay.
skill 2, which happens to be develop a sustainability plan.
There's
So-
a lot.
But there's not a lot there. It's implement sustainability plan and demonstrate environmental responsibility. That's all there is.
I mean, it's.
All the others had a lot more sub-skills.
so you might wanna think about things as far as sustainability, like if you do have recycled, if you're gonna do, say, soft drink cans or whatever, then you might wanna make sure you have recycled bins out there, whether the property has it or not. I know that a lot of people say that your glassware, your your plates, your silverware already that's already here is greener because you can wash it a lot less expensive than you can recycle it.
Ask me about green because I'm such a green person.
There
I
you
drive
go.
an
See, I knew
electric
you
car.
would.
I
Right.
recycle. In fact, I normally give cloth napkins,
You don't
but
have
I
a
thought
car?
18 people.
Is that what you just
I
said?
have an electric car.
Oh, electric car.
But
Good for
I bicycle more than I drive.
Right. Good.
And I've been green for years. I drove a hybrid before this.
Very good.
So yeah, I that one I think I
That's
and
it.
it irritates me when I go to a property and they aren't following good practices.
Right.
It's like bottled water to me. Sorry.
Right.
No offense. Bottled water is just horrible. I'm a scuba diver. I'm a scuba instructor. I'm in the ocean all the time, and I just came back from a trip to Indonesia, and there's plastic in the most remote areas, 24 hours by boat. And
Wow.
the only turtle we saw, which there was very little sea life, in Raja Ampat, which is supposed to be one of the best places in the world to see sea life, had plastic in its mouth,
Wow.
mistaking it for food. And so I hate bottles and plastic and
That's what I was going to say. Maybe keep that in mind as opposed to doing bottled waters or bottled
Yeah.
juices. Maybe you have a whole dispenser, and then they could do their own cups, maybe glassware, not plastic too.
It's
usually
usually
cheaper
cheaper anyway.
it is cheap.
It is way cheaper.
Just put pictures of water out.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Bottled water is a luxury.
Yeah, plus
Right.
they stick them in their pockets and take them to the
Yeah.
bank.
Well,
Right.
exactly.
So.
Right.
Unless you want to put fruit in the water, then it's $65. Count that out.
What is coffee going for a gallon nowadays?
At the Wyndham brand in Clearwater, $88 a gallon.
90.
By the way, if anyone would like coffee, it's free and it's organic, fair trade, shade grown only. Would you like anything to
So
drink?
see,
Rob?
those are some good.
Yeah.
Gabrielle's got some great points, and you can even talk with your chefs or your hotels about things like that. If you really want to go that way, you can they can.
Get eating locally sourced food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So those are ways that you can do it.
Do we want to move on to the next skill, or do we think we're good on
Do y'all want anything else
sustainability?
on?
In the book, what does it say about sustainability?
I'm wondering what kind of questions they're going to have.
That's
Let's
Yeah.
see what's in the back. Then
because if there's no national mandate, like I mean, where are we at on the straw situation? It's just each state is going.
Straws are horrible, I can tell you that right,
Right,
now.
but as
It
far
isn't-
as
even if there's not a national mandate, the push is, and I'm just looking around the room and 3 of you have straws.
yeah.
So what I do is I carry a reusable
And I'm
straw.
saying there's a now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But I went to Starbucks recently because I was traveling. I don't normally go to Starbucks, but people give me gift cards for it all the time. So I'm like, I better use it since I'm on the road. And they hand out plastic. And I went to the beach recently. I had an event at the beach, and they should know better. And without asking, they're giving people plastic straws. I went to Shands last week for a medical procedure, and I had to take the solution. And they gave me 3 plastic bottles of solution with 3 straws, as if one human being needs a different straw per container. And there's so much waste, that unnecessary waste. And those straws do end up in turtles' noses and mouths, and they kill people. I mean, they kill animals, so they kill wildlife. It's really sad. And I've seen it firsthand. It's awful. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm passionate about
It's
it.
okay.
No, I'm just
Yes.
wrapping my head around something that's so malleable depending on your organization and your organization's goals. So it's like, how do you test on your responsibility if everyone's goals are different, whether you care a lot or care just enough to pass by? How are you tested on demonstrating your responsibility?
I mean, having a green conference, having everything online, but I mean, we have the basics, but what can you do more than that? And that's what I assume they're trying to tell
There's
us,
a
but
lot on this, and
there's a lot.
There is an electronic version of the book, correct?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure I saw it in the handbook.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to order the electronic version. And
Now, how much do we know how much the book changed since 2017?
This,
We're saying in 18.
Yeah, I
they
don't
had
really
a
see.
new
well, and
edition
this
out.
one is 14, and I just looked on the website, and it's the newest one. It's the 9th edition. So
Okay, I will look. I took my books out, but then I read and racing to him from daycare.
Does that
I
have,
come here.
2014 has sustainability?
yeah. Yep.
Is that
And
practice
this is the
exam?
one on their website that they're selling, the only one.
So I would love it if you guys who have books, while the rest of us are maybe waiting on ours, if you could throw some things out there on the discussion forum, or bring some. Maybe you have a question for the facilitator that all of us could benefit from. You know.
I think
And
it
they-
would be helpful to like once everybody has books to read before, and then go
Yeah.
over these review questions because they really do tie it all back.
Right.
That discussion forum, does that go to all
No,
FSA?
No, it's a private CMP. It's
Okay.
everyone who was on the list. I
Yes,
added
yes.
to the CMP
Okay.
discussion.
So if I like scanned that.
Yeah, it would just be in our
test
private
and put it-
group.
And you might start with the sustainability, you might start with in your own organization to see how far you can go. I mean, if it's not gonna change your budget much, or maybe they give you leeway of $500 to make it sustainable, and you promote that, you let people know that it's a sustainable conference, so we're not having the straws, we're not having paper products or
Mhm.
glass bottle waters. We're trying to do what we can for the community, maybe you promote it that way.
Well, and there's like events standards that there's 3 of them that it asks about. And
I
it
think
goes
that's what I'm
into-
more expected. Is
Yeah,
like, what
so,
are they
like,
wanting?
It
What are
goes
the minimums
into
they're
talking
expecting?
about like each of the standards, and then like it explains them each even more. And it's so like one of the follow-up questions are, what are the 3 major sustainable event standards and protocols? How do they compare to each other? And there's like paragraphs on each one.
So really yummy.
Sounds like
Yeah.
fascinating reading. I'm so excited about it. Spending my summer reading.
I got through the first one today.
That's what I did. I took it a lot. I read at lunch, you know, and
Yeah.
particularly the chapters that I didn't know much about, I would read those highlighted. I'd go back and review that. I just did that a lot. The things that you know, you kind of can skim on over, and things that are common sense, you can kind of skip on over. Most of the time, like I said, that's what it really boils down to, except for some of those formula things and junk for AB.
Audiovisual.
Yes, blah.
So are we good for now on this, and we should go to the third task then under domain A
We got
strategic
about
plan?
10 more minutes, so
All right, 10 more minutes for what?
till 7 o'clock. Are you doing till 7?
No,
Oh, okay.
7:45.
Okay,
2 hours.
7:45. Well, we got it then.
No,
Let's
believe
go.
me, I've got the timer down, so we have 2 hours. So,
All right.
so skill 3 is develop business continuity or long-term viability plan of meeting or event.
So instead of using sustainability, they use the word viability, I
Mm.
think.
But this is really dealing with
You need to steal your
Data.
organization in particular.
Yeah.
evaluation. It really looks to me
Right.
like it's all about evaluation and
Right.
analysis, data analysis.
So my
Right.
question of what does sustainability mean? I have a better view of sustainability, and viability is what they're saying
Right.
for like how long.
Right.
Evaluation and data analysis.
Right.
So the book talks about like the difference in qualitative and quantitative
Ooh, I love
data.
that stuff.
Like the contingency plan and questionnaires, return on investment surveys. That's the terminology at the end that it says you should know.
Right. And that would make sense, like off of your budget, what you, your return on your investment, your evaluations.
Is this where
Yeah.
ROI? So what are the 5 steps? You mentioned earlier that we need to know the 5 steps. What do they define as the 5 steps? Because honestly, depending on who you ask, there's a whole bunch of different steps. I have an 8-step ROI. So I'm just curious what theirs is.
You gotta make sure everybody has books next time we're doing
I
that.
Let me just see if it's on one of these things that'll be easier than reading through. Okay.
Would
And there's
anyone
levels.
like more food? Because I'm gonna start putting stuff away. More food? You want food?
Thank
Good,
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think there's
It's way too much food.
5, really 6 levels because it starts from 0 to 5. Starting with 0 is meeting stats, scope. 1 is reaction, 2 is learning, 3 is application, 4 is business results, and 5 is ROI.
Huh. So they're using
That's
kind of a little bit of Kirkpatrick's levels of evaluation.
No, I'm only laughing because I have Kirkpatrick at
Right,
my conference in June.
Perfect. I love Kirkpatrick.
Good. I guess I'm sitting in on his class.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was like,
No, that's okay.
I haven't read this one, so I don't know if you see something that jumps out at you.
So what were the 5 again?
Meeting stats, scope, reaction, learning, application, business results, and ROI.
So the reaction is kind of like smile sheets, like, how did you like this speaker? And so they don't really give you any, in my opinion, substantive data. You can basically, this is where people complain about if the room was too cold.
Yeah.
Right.
It's too high.
Right.
Bring us
Learning level 2 is typically pre-test, post-test kind of things, assessments, maybe for certification. If you all have any in your organizations have a certification process. I firmly believe in pre-test, post-test to measure difference in learning. So application, I'm curious how they define that. I mean, I would think application of skills on the job. And then business results is impact. So getting to that level of Kirkpatrick's level of evaluation is hard to do, but it involves measuring people's performance as they apply the skills to see organizational impact.
Okay, so it says for application measures how attendees apply what they've learned during the program.
Yeah. What they'll take back to their.
So you would need to have some kind of follow-up then with the participants, right? How many of you do that? Follow up with participants, say how have you applied what you learned?
Oh gosh, no.
I can tell you, I attend a lot of conferences as an attendee, and I don't think I've ever actually.
I don't think so either, but that's a great point, because even in your follow-up survey, you could send out and just say, what's one thing you would take back that you could, or maybe list the things that you learned that you can put to use.
This book actually has a 6th one, which is intangibles, measures the benefits from an event that cannot or should not be converted into monetary values such as leadership skills or customer satisfaction.
But how can you measure intangibles?
No, that you said they should or should not be?
Should not.
Should not.
Measures the benefits from an event that cannot or should not be converted into monetary
But it
values.
says measures.
So for learning, learning it says measures what participants learn during the program. So I guess this is
pre-test, post-test kind of stuff.
yeah. So
Assessments.
yeah.
But I'm confused by the final one, the intangible, measuring intangibles. That doesn't make sense. Kirkpatrick never.
So on his presentation, it's attend the thought-provoking session to learn how to structure initiatives so they enhance on-the-job performance and the impact.
And that's level 4. That's
Yeah,
the
it's
impact.
3.
Right.
Is it 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to come to our conference?
3 is transfer of learning, and 4 is
Is
impact.
that? When is that and where? I don't think I've heard them, so.
Oh, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It does not make sense.
We were actually going to do like a separate day workshop with them.
Wow. I'd be interested, although I'm an evaluator for several different projects, like National Science Foundation projects, so I'm usually like that with statistics. But I am still confused by that intangible, measuring intangibles.
That just might be a research question.
Okay,
When
all right.
you read
Let's
those,
have a research question.
Yeah, I haven't read this
Read
section,
or-
so it might be I'm sure it elaborates more.
Or put it out there on this, forum and see what other people say, if anybody else has started reading their materials or not.
Yeah, they didn't even show up. So, well, we did have a few. We had 5 people. Obviously, Judy's at a distance, and then we had 4 other people say that they couldn't make the first session, but they would be joining. So, all right. So, shall we move on then to the next domain B, project management? Yeah. Okay. So, skill 4 is and by the way, there are 9 questions in domain B. Plan, meeting, or event project. So it's just about making a project plan that's in alignment with goals and objectives. What all can you really say about
It
that?
cracks me up because my husband's going out for the PMP
Oh,
and did the study group for it. I was like, so what kind of questions? What are you guys covering? He's like, is it on budget? Is it on, like, does it fulfill scope? Does it fulfill budget? And is it on time? I'm like, how do you have that many
I know.
questions about?
Well,
and
I
it's
can-
not
I know.
industry specific. So I'm like, what? I could go out for it just as well. So I'm like, it blows my mind that there would be 9 questions about different angles of.
well, I can give you 6 right now from the CMP
Let's
and
hear.
PMP. Okay, ready?
What's the PMP stand for?
project management.
Project
Project management.
So,
Sorry.
But again, it's non-industry specific. So it's kind of like what's really.
Yeah.
okay, ready for question 1? While developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional should display the ability to perform which one of the following tasks? The options are generate policies and procedures to maintain system security and integrity. Next, determine critical success factors for a meeting or event. Create information collection policies, procedures, and structures, and use information retrieval systems.
The first and the third ones were so long I thought.
Okay, so, and again, the question is, and Judy, feel free to jump in, okay? Unmute yourself and take part in the conversation if you would like. While developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional should display the ability to perform which one of the following tasks. So let's go through them individually and see what we think. Generate policies and procedures to maintain system security and integrity. That doesn't really sound right. Sounds like an IT thing, right? Determine critical success factors for meeting or event. That sounds like the most obvious so far. Create information collection policies, procedures, and structures. It could be. I mean, I'm a test writer, and I can tell you this is not a good test item because a distractor could be true. And the next one is use information retrieval systems, which again could be. So I would say the second one.
The second one,
Yeah.
It is correct.
Is the most correct.
Yes.
It is the most correct. Yeah. They
Yeah,
use-
that's it too, because sometimes there could be, and you really have to look at those.
well, and that to me is just poor test writing. It
Well,
is.
they put a few tricky ones out there.
Tricky
Or they
is
did.
one thing, but
I wrote a
Right.
handbook and it said, there's no trick questions, and that's BS.
That
That's
is.
the problem is
This is a poorly written. So
Right.
when you have distractors that could be correct, then that's not
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so the explanation is the ability to determine critical success factors for meeting or event is required while developing evaluation audit procedures, whereas the ability to perform the tasks mentioned in the other answers are required while developing integrated communication plans. Okay. I'm not digging this. Okay, question 2. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while developing evaluation audit procedures. I do not like these test questions, and these are horrible.
And these aren't
Okay.
fantasy though, are they?
This is the CMP and PMP
Okay.
practice.
Is it from the
Test.
CIC? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
No.
sort of the concern.
So now, knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required when developing evaluation audit procedures. Principles of negotiation, stakeholder requirements, setting measurable objectives, basic accounting principles. Which one is not required while developing principles of a negotiation?
Well,
So while developing evaluation audit procedures, which one is not required while developing evaluation audit procedures?
negotiation, yeah.
What do you think?
That seems so glaring.
I know.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Correct. Negotiation. Knowledge of negotiations is required while managing contracts, not while developing evaluation audit procedures.
Perfect.
Question 3. While developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional need not possess the ability to perform which one of the following tasks. Again, I do not like not questions. Okay. Establish reporting process. Select dates for implementation. Determine critical success factors for meeting or event, and establish record keeping and filing systems.
You need to put the
You
last
need
two.
don't possess the following. So okay. So which one is not? Establish reporting process. Select dates for implementation. Determine critical success factors for meeting or event, and establish record keeping and filing systems.
But it's a not question.
It's a not. So you don't need to possess the ability to perform which one of the following tasks to do evaluation audit procedures.
Oh, evaluation or the
Evaluation, audit.
Record keeping, establish record keeping and filing systems is D. Select dates for implementation is B. So which one do we think? C is determine critical success factors for meeting or event.
oh wait, hold on.
Select dates.
That's part of your evaluation. on it.
Select
The
dates?
I don't think you need to know. the-
Dates? Does everyone want to try dates?
Sure.
Wrong answer.
Oh, no.
Well,
we had to
man.
get
Which one is it?
Oh man, it just now it's giving me an ad because I got a wrong answer. I'm serious.
Punish.
Okay.
That's interesting.
The correct answer is establish record keeping and filing systems.
Oh.
It says the ability to establish record keeping and filing systems is required while developing an integrated communication plan, not while developing evaluation audit procedures.
Oh, okay. Good job.
These are
Are you, and remind me, because I watched the webinar, I know they give you a whiteboard to do math problems. You get a highlighter, or do you get a highlighter? Because it's all online. So. Well, I guess not then, I just think.
I don't know.
I'm good.
let's find out.
What-
If it's all on, well, my thinking was if it was paper, I'm like, if you needed to highlight, like if you were looking
We
for
had scratch
keywords.
paper back in the day,
No, I think
so we
we
could
just
do
got
our
whiteboard.
whiteboard.
They
Okay.
give you some sort of like chalkboard.
Yeah, they give you
Yeah,
Okay.
something.
All right, so question 4. Knowledge of which one of the following factors is not required while developing evaluation audit procedures? And possible answers are evaluation processes and procedures, basic accounting principles, critical path and review schedule, and stakeholder requirements.
For evaluation audit.
Which one is not required while developing evaluation audit procedures? Well, the first one is obviously not the correct answer. I don't like it at all. This is terrible test writing. But that's evaluation processes and procedures, which is part of the STEM. So that's not the incorrect answer. All right. The next one is basic accounting principles. Do you need those to develop audit procedures? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Critical path and review schedule. What is
Critical path and review schedule.
What do they mean by that?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if that's their benchmarking, if that would be.
I wonder. And the final one was, we don't know what it is, so we're not sure. And the final one is stakeholder requirements. Well, seems like you would need to know stakeholder requirements for evaluation procedures, right? No?
Well, maybe not. You should probably know theirs on something else, maybe in your planning portion of it, but maybe not in the evaluation.
Yeah, see, I think that's what we're getting caught up with
And-
is are we evaluation and audit meaning financials or are we auditing evaluations at the end of a
So this is under project management, and it actually says evaluation/audit as if they were one and the same.
So it might be the project evaluation, the whole thing, which would include all of that. But I'm gonna go with stakeholders. That's just my thought.
least likely?
Yeah, and that's the key, like
So,
I said,
okay, so we have a couple of votes for anyone else?
I'll second that.
All right.
Sure.
Not just
Okay, I would have chosen critical path. And guess what? I selected stakeholder and it's wrong. It's critical path and
critical
review
path.
schedule.
Well, that's interesting.
So
I
it
guess
says
you
knowledge of critical path and review schedule is required while managing critical path, not while, what does this mean?
do.
Not while developing evaluation audit procedures. Can we look up what
I'm
that
gonna
means?
see, I was gonna look in her glossary.
My
and see
understanding
what
is if you've
critical-
got a task that you want to accomplish,
Uh-huh.
critical path is how to get to that.
But I want to make sure that our understanding of critical path is the same as theirs.
And when they say audit, I translate that as review, as in not a financial audit, but just an audit
Yeah,
as in
because you can
just-
audit anything. Yeah, you're
Right.
just evaluating the entire
Auditing,
meeting.
reviewing,
Yeah,
it's the
auditing.
same, auditing is the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be time of money.
Okay, she probably took it back.
Yeah.
She took it back in the day.
Review.
Okay, critical path represents the chain of activities that must begin on time and stay on track in order to achieve project milestones and ultimately execute the project on time.
That's why I put it in there.
Okay. Great. Question 5?
Sure, let's get it.
Let's see if they have another not. Okay. While developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional should display, the ability to perform which one of the following tasks. So while developing evaluation audit procedures, all right? First one is generate policies and procedures to maintain system security and integrity.
No.
I know. Create information collection policies, procedures, and structures. Use information retrieval systems and identify areas to be evaluated. I think we all probably think A.
Yeah.
Ah, it's wrong. Ah,
Oh.
man. Okay. Identify areas to be evaluated is the correct answer. So the moral of the story is don't rush to the obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
So the explanation is the ability to identify areas to be evaluated is required while developing evaluation audit procedures, whereas the ability to perform the tasks mentioned in the other answer options is required while developing the integrated communication plan. Huh?
Yeah, I can get that.
Determine
No,
what you need to cover
I think
before you
this is.
cover
I
it.
think they're wrong. Judy, what do you think?
I don't know.
Huh. Well, we're not doing very well on. We have 6 questions. We've done 5 of 6, and we're two for 5. Two wrong out of 5 so far.
That's why
Final
I say you better
question.
read the book.
Final question. While developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional need not possess the ability to perform which one of the following tasks? And they are identify areas to be evaluated, establish reporting process, set up data reporting and monitoring systems, and select dates for implementation.
They need not do it.
What should they not have the ability to perform? While developing evaluation audit procedures.
They need to know the dates. So I would
Okay.
keep that one in. And what are the other 3?
Identify areas to be evaluated, establish reporting process, and set up data reporting and monitoring systems.
I don't know if you need the dates, to be honest. If you've got a goal to accomplish, you have benchmarks to make sure it was accomplished. Well, maybe, as long as it's in the date parameter, but I don't know if you need to know the specific date. Is it clarified? Doesn't clarify that.
What's everyone else think?
Yeah, I was like, just slow.
Okay, while developing evaluation audit procedures, a meeting management professional need not possess the ability to perform which one of the following tasks? Identify areas to be evaluated, establish reporting process, set up data reporting and monitoring systems, and select dates for implementation.
Retracted.
Let's see.
Is it the third one?
Yeah.
The second and the third are very similar. Establish
Yeah.
reporting process and set up data reporting and monitoring systems.
Yeah. So which is
What was
less.
read B again?
What's that?
Read B.
Establish reporting process.
Creating the process.
While developing evaluation audit procedures, what do you need not to possess?
Reporting. I think it's B.
Do we want to go with B?
I feel like C encompasses B.
That's wrong. Okay. Darn it. We really failed that one. So we got 3 out of 6 wrong. We suck on that. So the answer is set up data reporting and monitoring systems.
not, you don't need to do that?
Isn't that weird? You don't need to have the ability to perform setting up data reporting and monitoring systems. Here's the explanation. The ability to set up data reporting and monitoring systems is required while developing integrated communication plan, not while developing an evaluation audit procedures. I really hope the test is not like that. That sucks.
I can tell you when I took it, it was not like
Okay.
that. It
Wow.
definitely was not
That's
like
why
that.
this, like, 2 people said not to use
Which one
practice
though?
exams unless it's put out by the CIC because they weren't correct at all with what was on the test.
Okay.
So that's
So,
just insight from them.
so shall we move on to the next part of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skill 5 is manage meeting or event project.
Is that defined?
What did they?
Okay. Skill 5 is manage meeting or event project. Oh, here's critical path. Yay.
Yeah, finally.
What do you think? Do you have a dog in there, Judy?
Sorry, I thought I muted it.
I have a dog in the office.
Which is very quiet.
He's a certified therapy dog and a service dog, so bless you.
Thank you.
So he's always honestly perfect, like the perfect dog. Even from the time he was young. As soon as I got him trained, he's
Awesome.
perfect. So what do we want to talk about with critical path?
What do you think are some critical paths that you have to take to complete the project plan? Budget, attendees,
Marketing.
marketing.
Do you want to know the terms that I have?
That sounds
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
I know.
If we hadn't said it, we're
I'm
so
glad
proud
we
of
have
you.
somebody who's like on the ball. And that's, yeah,
Um,
I know. There you go.
BDOs, contract addendums,
Ah.
contract amendments, event specification guides, pre-conference meeting, project status report, and scope creep.
Hmm.
That's all on-site stuff. Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We just
kind of
talked about a bunch of
essential.
stuff that had nothing to do with
Right.
food and beverage and all
Yeah.
that other stuff. So let me, is that where our focus needs to be, is more on,
This is the skill 5 endpoints, so yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
so this is when you're actually there. But you gotta.
Well, the BDO,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You
that's
can do
all.
some of that ahead of
But it's still
time.
on site. Marketing has nothing to do with the hotel
That.
negotiations and
It
things
talks,
like
it
that.
asks, what's the best way to minimize potential delays and risks as they relate to the project schedule and critical path? So it's a lot of like the pre-planning
So it'd be like have your food and beverages be your
and.
Yeah,
before you get there.
What is a contract and what should it include?
Everything.
What is an event-specific guide and what should it include?
What is it? What?
Event-specific specifications guide, I'm sorry.
Event specification. I don't know that I've ever used all of them.
Okay.
And
What-
how is a banquet event order different from?
Okay, do you know what an event specification?
Yeah, specification guide. I'm
Guide is?
not familiar with that.
Okay. Tell us what you know.
Well, we were just talking about that with the contract, I have a checklist, that everything that needs to go on a contract, 30
I
years
love
into this, I
checklists.
still have to look at a checklist.
And
And
you should,
events.
no matter how long you've been doing
Yeah, and also I have an addendum that goes with it that's now about 3 pages long because everything on it has happened. Whether they've walked our group or they put a revival going on next to my education section or, you know,
I
yeah.
could use a copy of that.
So those are the kind of things that we cover in the addendum, but the specs are more, I think what we were saying is, I would consider a checklist also, but all the things that you need to make sure you have, the F&B, the AV, the registration, how you want it set up, you know, what time the breaks are, all that kind of stuff.
In the glossary of this old book, it says specifications, complete description of meeting requirements.
Yeah.
So, like
Okay.
you say, like if you want it classroom, or if you want
Yeah.
College Square, or if you want AB, or bottled water, or pitcher water, or whatever, those types of things.
Well, typically, I mean, they say put everything you can think of in your specs, and that will help them determine what rate they can give you, if they're gonna waive your room and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The more information you give them, the better chance you'll have of getting a good contract.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But again, I'm just trying to tie that back to answering it the correct way.
Right.
I could talk all day about this
Right,
stuff,
that's what I
but
said,
am I saying it
absolutely.
correctly? When it
Does
comes
your
to-
your book has some sampled questions, correct?
That's what I just read, yeah. Those four were it for the question.
Oh.
Do you want me to read them again?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
What is the best way to minimize potential delays and risks as they relate to project schedules and critical path? What is a contract and what should it include? What is an event specification guide and what should it include? And how is a banquet order different from an event specification guide?
I would think that event specification, and this is just me thinking, like, for example, if you had the governor there or you had the president, something that's going to be out of the norm, or that you would want to let staff know that you wouldn't have on a PEO or something. Yeah, or something
Yeah.
like that. Maybe something else, or if you have.
It seems like the difference I know is that the hotel usually provides an event resume, and that's going to have a bigger, broader brush of the program, not the detail of how many gallons of coffee, but who from staff is going to be there, what their titles are, who your VIPs are, what time are they arriving, what are their sleeping room, whatever. So it's another detailed document, but it's more of a broader brush than the down to the gallons of coffee and things like that. Is that right?
Well, we're not real sure of that, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Which they,
Read this, so I don't know. Couldn't tell you without sitting down and reading this.
it's all right. We won't put you on the spot that bad. We're gonna have to research that one a little more to find out exactly what.
Sounds like that's all you gotta do is read the book.
Yeah,
And
it
learn
sounds like
their way of
Their
talking.
terminology.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Back to the book.
And is there 2 books and a?
There's an international book, but I've been told you don't need to buy the international one because there's like hardly
Very
anything on
few
it.
words.
Yeah.
And then the glossary sounds like it's also
Yeah, and there's the glossary.
valuable.
Yeah, I would say the glossary is valuable. And she's got a glossary out of an old book.
It's
This
like
is-
super old. I'm tempted to
But-
get the new one.
You probably would, maybe if you could even find out how different it is.
Yeah.
probably would, 'cause
I'll
I'm
bring
sure
my
they,
stuff next week and see
Awesome.
because this one looks like an old one from when, might have been back in my day. And it don't have it, either, so.
And what edition does that one say again?
Right.
And there might be somebody out there, y'all, in FSA that's already had it or got books that they might be willing to, so you might even want to throw something out there to the whole FSA group and ask them if they've got any, 'cause
I'd be
there
glad
could
to do that.
because
Since
there's other
since
people-
everybody's been seeing my posts about
Right,
CMP.
I mean, there's everybody
So
around
what
the
what
state,
should I
so
ask for?
I would
CMP.
just, yeah, ask
And
them,
even like the glossary, because that's
Yeah.
easy to copy and we can all.
right, if they
scan
have a
it and
current,
everything
Just
print.
scan it.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
scanning would be great. Does anyone have a scanner?
I can
That
scan it.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
But this, she just ordered the book and it's the 9th edition. So you might want to ask,
check mine and I wrote
okay, and the glossary, because that might be, I mean, there's a lot of people around the state, so we're not the only ones that have taken it or taking it.
Yeah.
And they might be willing to share.
I'm sure they would be. I mean,
Yeah.
once
Most
you
of us
once
might
you
do.
pass it, you need to recertify. How often?
think it's every 5 years or something like that, but you don't have to take a test. It's
You just have to show your
yeah,
CU.
yeah, and that's just as bad as ruling. Keep up
Yeah.
with your
CU.
continuing education that you've done for
Yeah.
sure.
Has FSAE uploaded y'all stuff from like Education Day and like maybe planner roundtables? Because mine has none, and I know I have 25 hours,
So
but I don't have a record
go
of
back
it.
and talk to Trevor. She was phenomenal, and so I also found out that one of the two sites had a wrong spelling of my name, which I think was like partially preventing, and I also wasn't seeking CMP hours when we did annual last year. So Trevor was on the phone with me for an hour, which God bless her. Was individually uploading everything from FSA, from annual conference, from some of the luncheons that I had attended.
Awesome.
So they
Yeah.
will go backdate it if you didn't have a profile at the
Okay,
time.
that was probably
Yeah.
the problem. Is I
Trevor
didn't
one.
have a profile. I had
Very
emailed
good.
Laura, but I guess she's not
there
there anymore. So
I don't know if I would, but Trevor did that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Wow.
Or maybe
I didn't
this
know we did
week
that.
still.
She's
I think
winning
so much soccer.
Yeah. She's going to DC to that sensation.
Well,
Yeah.
good for her. Good for her. We'll miss her. Yeah, we'll miss her, but good for her.
I think I have my stuff out there and it's been going for a few years, but from what it sounds like, you have to have so much proof. Like I can't just print out that piece of paper.
Right,
and-
you need the program because they're gonna wanna know the
Yeah,
location, they're gonna wanna
so-
know speakers, like if you have conference, they're gonna know which sessions you went to. It is grueling
But if
to
we-
go
but
through
if
it.
it's FSA.
Is it online?
Yeah.
Can you?
You said you can even have your name badge as proof that you were.
Yeah, but
I think like
But do we have to show proof?
I think
I think the last time I did, I think I had to send a copy of the conference program, which I think I might have renewed in
I think FSA you can once they can upload it and
17.
account.
Yeah.
But like I need to reach out to like Connect because I know I have some from them
Mhm.
and
I thought it was like FSA and other approved providers, you didn't have to upload
Yeah,
any material.
they are supposed
good.
to do it
Well,
all
that's
for
good.
you.
well, that's good.
And I mean, you can, they said
You,
you're.
yeah, they do have
option.
self-reporting that you can do for
Yeah.
certain webinars.
Right.
But I thought everything from FSA was like
Right.
pre-approved, it's in stone, I don't need to do
Oh,
it.
that's great. Well, that's good. I don't know that.
Stuff from there.
But that would be great, and I would think it would be.
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
of what their.
Their organization, right.
So to our homework, I'm gonna add, of course, read the handbook, buy the book, and then make sure you sign up for a free account. If you haven't done that already, it's a fairly easy process.
Yeah, and then just figure out how to get your stuff on it so you can take the exam.
Yeah.
I got a credit today from an event I didn't even attend. Did you guys get that from an FSE from Atlanta event? I'm like, I wasn't
So on your account, it's shown.
on EIC or ECIC or
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't claim that. I'm not gonna.
Maybe someone else, maybe it was meant for somebody else.
They've been sending me emails too, and I keep telling them not to. If I'm not there, I didn't attend.
Wow,
interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm just wondering if anybody else has gotten it too.
I haven't checked it probably.
So how do we get FSAE's profile to connect to talk to
Yeah.
this one?
What do we need to do?
Trevor.
Trevor.
Oh,
Trevor will
okay.
handle all of your posting materials, but I think moving forward, now that you have a profile, if you go to annual conference, it will, when they do an upload, like you will get everything moving forward.
Is everyone going to the conference?
No.
Yeah.
Next
Who
year.
is going to the conference?
I'm registered
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. I haven't registered yet because it's because I have some other things going on in my life right now that are preventing me from committing to things.
Right.
You know.
Understandable.
I think next year is going to be actually after my major event, so I can go for the first semester.
When is next year's?
It's in August or something like that. I'm not sure
really?
where.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely can't go to.
Oh, boy.
Well, any other thoughts or questions before we wrap up? Let's thank Tondra again for her. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry to give y'all much information, but all I
It's
can do is
okay.
really
You are our guinea pig. So you know we got a tough lesson and we really need to have the book.
I will see what I also I was in that MBI study group with Trevor.
Oh,
in
okay.
17.
Yeah, and anything anyone can share on our little private group, that would be awesome. Like anything, if anyone's able to get their hands on
How soon are each of you planning on taking it?
Well, now that I know there's a possibility to take it in Kentucky for
Oh my
free at
gosh.
Connect, I think
I just went online to disconnect. I got this email from Events Industry Council, and it said that you can still take the CMP exam for free. But when I went online to register for Connect, it says that I owe $200.
You pay.
But
you pay and then they reimburse you.
Yeah, they will
okay.
reimburse you. If you
I had
just
no
have
idea.
to-
I've never done
You just
that.
have to attend and keep your appointments, and then
Right.
they'll reimburse.
Ah,
And
like-
actually, normally there's an additional $100 they'll give you for.
right.
Like a travel
When
stipend.
is
that?
They give you all that money.
They do.
And then it says, now, the other thing, it says candidates must meet all of the CMP
Right.
certification eligibility requirements, apply to take the CMP exam and register for Connect 2019. Hurry, you have a limited time to secure this offer. Applications must be submitted by tomorrow,
Oh,
Friday,
no.
the 24th of May.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding
I
me?
took